What would you say you do here?
It's the Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast. A podcast dedicated to up-and-coming bands, labels, artists, and more. Plug in and join your host, Brad Nunnery, as he dives deep into what the future of music has to hold and discover something new along the way. What else do you have to do?
Hey, this is Steve from Challenger, and you're listening to Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast.
I buried myself today in the cemetery where we used to play. So when the seasons change, I'll be your favorite name to read. Nothing's permanent, so wise that just something that we're used to. I could stumble home tonight. I'll be waiting for you. I can't stand being without you, babe, but I just like being alone. When the radio sounds just like your face, I know I'm home. Emergency across the wire. The tongue-tied truth sounds like a lie. So now when you're away, I'll be your memory. Nothing's permanent, so wise that just something that we're used to. I could stumble home tonight, and I'll be waiting for you. I can't stand being without you, babe, but I just like being alone. When the radio sounds just like your face, I know I'm home. Another 6 months to move away. Which way, I don't know. But the record still spins in outer space. So I'm home.
That was Hoodie Kid from our really good friends in Challenger. Many thanks to Steven for recording that promo for us. Really do appreciate it, man. Now, you can find that song off their debut album. It's called The Aluminum Hand. It is out now. But you can catch our interview with them on Season 3, Episode 2 of the podcast. We broke down that song as well as many others from that album. Really love what those guys are doing. But if you want to find out more about the band, you can visit them on any social media platform at Challenger Band DE. All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Brad Nunnery. Welcome to Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast, Season 3, Episode 12, presented by my really good friend Jeff Small over at 1603 Designs. My guests tonight are a really killer alternative rock band based out of Philadelphia, PA. They are called WISER. I've got Matt, David, and Nick set to talk to us about their latest singles called Killcam, Montage, Who Do You Love, and Meant For Me. We're going to break down the history of the band, and you know what? The band was just featured on 93.3 Philadelphia's rock station last month, so we're going to talk to them all about that. But right now, let's get into their latest music video. It's called Killcam Montage. It's on Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast.
The stage is
Gentlemen, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Super stoked to finally meet you guys after, man, I guess a couple of years now. We've been,
It's been 2 years of support, Brad. Thank you so
yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir. No, I've been following you guys for a while, ever since your one song, your, I guess, self-titled single, Studwiser, came out and helped you guys out with that music video. But, you know, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. I think you guys make the perfect blend of that alternative rock, you know, and just like that emo kind of feel to it. I just love what you guys are doing. I love that it's supercharged and super like fast and it's busy, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, almost Seosin-ish, just straight up rock and roll, you know, and to the point. And I love it. And I love it. You know, it's a style that I've always loved, you know, growing up and all that kind of stuff. And it's good to see that bands are out there still making that type of music. And just kudos to you guys. And I'm a huge fan, and I'm so excited to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We all do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah, sorry for the scheduling conflicts. I had some conflicts with my kids, but we're finally doing it. But let's get into it. I guess the first kind of question I want to ask you, you know, you guys been around since 2022. Your first debut single was called The Depot, and it was a little bit different than the kind of music that you're making now. Not that it's good or bad or any of that kind of stuff, but you guys definitely come into your own on these latest singles. But you know, this I love, you know, The Depot is great, Studwiser is great, you know, the EP was awesome, but these three singles, Who Do You Love, Killcam, Montage, and Meant For Me, are really awesome. And I want to kind of break down some of the songs, if you can humor me, and we'll kind of talk about everything and go from there. We just played the music video for Killcam Montage, so let's get right into that song since it's fresh on everybody's mind. It's one of my favorite songs of the new releases, just due to the fact that there's a lot going on with the drums. I love, David, I don't know who recorded your drums, but the drums sound amazing on all three of these singles. I don't know if it's like reverb or what's going on, or did you change the way that you record your drums, or what are you doing necessarily on the drums? Because they're really busy on this song.
Yeah, no, I basically it's a mix of, so it was recorded in the same spot, Timber Studios,
Yep.
By the same guy, August. Fantastic time recording, fantastic setup there. I think that, you know, I definitely got a little bit better in the studio as far as things go. Little bit different equipment, not too much actually. Maybe just a little bit better tuned drums. But also August has really come into his own since the first EP. And the first EP sounds great, don't get me wrong. But I mean, he really knocked it out of the park with the three newer songs. And, you know, I got to give credit to him mostly on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, kudos to him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'd notice, I'm like, man, those drums are really busy. You know, and you know, they keep you at your pace on on the track, you know, and I love and the first thing I thought about when I heard this song was it's one of those songs that would be really awesome to play live. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those live songs that, you know, when it comes into the set, you're like, oh hell yeah. That's the first kind of impression that I got from the song. The guitars, all through these singles are just amazing. I love the things that you guys are doing, and yeah, like you and Chris, Nick are working together side by side on the stuff. Can you walk me through like the guitars and how you you know, how do you decide to, you know, take your turn when there's two guitar players in the band and all that kind of stuff, and how you guys make it work?
Right. So Studwiser, it's an inside joke. We have three guitar players: big guitar, and big guitar. Like even the bass player is kind of playing guitar.
Okay.
Chris and I don't like overwank each other, if that makes sense to you, but like
Sure.
we know when to really go hard. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, playing with Chris personally for me is such like a pleasure and like a blessing, because like that man just gets it. So being able to lock in with him, like I think I'm pretty on his skill level. So it's just two dudes who are kind of, dare I can say, good at their craft, just like
Sure.
actually, I don't know, trying to write fun music. Because he's a noodly boy, but also I can be a noodly boy. But once you can like put the two, like the riffs and the noodles together, bro, you're getting Killcam Montage, if that makes sense. We've been opening with that the last couple shows, and we just kind of just start like random shoegazing and then just right into it, and it's really it's like an adrenaline rush. It's very fun to open with that song. But recording wise, So Chris was on tour for a lot of the recording. So a lot of the recording was just August and I coming back to August Axelson.
Yeah.
Working with him has been amazing. Love him. He was a bass player for a band called Kaonashi. Shout out KO. He's currently doing like Save Face, if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
Really cool
Yeah.
band. So he's kind of like their brain guy too. So being able to have
Oh, nice.
an extension kind of like someone who knows what they're doing as well you're working with. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
just hit the red recording button. He's like, all right, go. He's
Sure.
working you. Like, nah, nope, take a
Yep.
sip. Let me get the
Check your
controller.
ego. Yeah. No time
Yeah,
for
he's like,
ego.
all right,
Just get to
we're good. Boom, do it again. And you just
Yep.
kill it. Like his pace is very fun. And the end result, just the Marshall JCM 800, everything was on 10. So,
Yeah.
you know, just trying to have fun in the studio, seeing what you can do.
Yeah, and it's really cool when you can record something, you know it's good, and then you bring it to the stage and actually play it and hear it, you know, and be able to perform it and stuff. And I think that must be the coolest thing to be able to do is work on a song or work on a whole bunch of songs or an EP or whatever, and you finally get to play it live. And it's one of those songs where it's like, yeah, that's the song I came here to hear, and you know that's one of those songs I want to hear. And Matt, your vocals are on point, and I just love the chorus of this song as well. It's just it's the perfect song for me, for fans like me, for that alternative rock kind of stuff. It's hooky, it's catchy, it's all good stuff, man.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to write the earworms.
Yeah. And how do you approach your lyrics with with the songs or with the music kind of thing? Are you the type there's always different types, right? There's people that write the lyrics and then you put the music together, or vice versa. How do things come together for you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kind of like songwriters have stories to tell, but I think in this case it's just kind of listening to the rhythm, trying to capture what's the catchiest thing at the moment and running with that. And then from there, it's just general themes and ideas. Nothing too complicated.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we ever talked about this, but I think that song is about some perception of how funny it is being in the band Studweiser, if that makes sense. Did we talk about that before, Matt?
Yeah. No, we've talked about that. It's just
like if you listen to the lyrics, it kind of sounds like it's coming from the band. Like, oh fuck, like I don't know, I can't explain it, but I think it's a song of self-loathing in the form of Studweiser.
It tries to zig and zag the whole time, just being in a band.
Now, Studweiser, you know, of course, it reminds me of Budweiser. So is that as a play on words kind of a deal? I got to get that out of the way.
Nothing. No, I'm just joking.
Of course, I have to ask you the cheesy ass question, the go-to question, dude. You know, I got to ask you just because you have an interesting name. If it was just like Doors, I wouldn't ask you, why is your name the Doors? You know what I mean? But so that's why I had to
we
ask.
can thank Malfi for the name Studweiser.
So the band started as like just a two-piece. It's just David and I, COVID project, rocking in like his dad's basement or my basement at the time. Just like guitar, drums, octave pedal. Think of like Royal Blood, but we were like, but we fucking love like metal, but we also like alternative. So like that's where that kind of idea started. So that I wanted like Van Halen or like Don Broco or like a name. You're like, who is this person I'm seeing? Studweiser could be a solo artist. Studweiser could be a band. It could be a reggaeton artist, you know. But I was really going for like first name, last name type.
Yeah.
It's not two. No. It's not one word. It's two words.
Yeah, you have that. I think you have that on your bio on your social media. Don't you have that on your Instagram page where it's two words, not one?
It's two words.
Do you get a lot of that?
Just loves spelling it in one or spelling with one word, and it's fine. You know how to almost spell it, but there's a space in there, and it's fun quizzing people on stage.
Yeah, well, it's fun to say.
Like Studweiser, and you're like, spell it. 10% off of merch if you can spell it right. And then one time we made everyone spell it out loud at a wrestling gig. I think.
Did you?
We played a wrestling gig. It was very fun. It was like an ultimate death match. Fucking, can I curse? Excuse me.
No, I want to hear about this story. How the hell did you get on play a wrestling match?
So I know
like a WWE, or was it like amateur?
No, it's like professional. Like, I mean, you see my shirt, right? So it's I like wrestling. So it's like indie wrestling, but it's like indie deathmatch wrestling. Like, I know a lot of people in that world, and just by like having friends adjacent, like my friend made this shirt. Like he makes wrestling merch, so he's like, come to these wrestling shows, watch these guys just berate each other and like pizza cutter their face open. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we got into with the scoundrels at the what's their name? Oh, the UFW or something like that in Philadelphia. Shout out to them. They were running shows really close to us, and they're like, "Yo, play our like big match of the summer." And there was like a mud pit wrestling match with like all their girlfriends.
That was gross too, because they didn't.
There was a bucket of mulch in there.
Yeah, it was
manure.
mulch.
What?
It was manure. So they went to this. They went to like
Manure
Home
and
Depot.
mulch in a fucking ring?
Yeah, no, it was like in like
It was
this,
a pool.
In
like
the kiddie
this, like
pool.
yeah, kiddie
Oh,
pool.
yeah.
And dude, they were just like rolling around and shit. like it was really gross. I don't know what their thoughts were on that, but hey, I mean, they made it work.
And it was not soft.
No, dude. Nothing about that is the F word fake.
So it's
We
very
played-
DIY.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone went through a glass table on fire. I can find a video and send it to
Oh
you.
yeah.
Dude,
We got paid in weed.
We got paid in weed.
Did you? Yeah, nice. Nice.
So I mean, I've
Yeah.
been paid less, so it's fine. We'll rock anytime, UWF.
Yeah, no, that's so funny that you guys are doing that, and it's just all I can think about is just the smell if they're wrestling around and dogs.
Oh,
and
it was
shit.
there.
Yeah, dude. You could. This was an outside, like this is like someone's house with like another house
Right.
connected to it, like on land. They had a wrestling ring in concrete. It was very fun. It was a fun day. I'll never.
Oh, it
forget
was awesome.
We had this.
Then you get the
we
weed
had
to
this
carry out the
kid.
day.
We had a kid with us. He like a child was at the gig, and his name was Gabe, and he just came up and like did a song with us. I think he just awkwardly
like
stood
that, yeah.
there. He awkwardly stood there. We're like, yo, get on.
Yeah. No standing around. Either you're going to participate or you're getting out of here, right? It's
He was
just
a good
one-
sport about it. We roasted the
That's right,
shit out
Gabe.
of him, but he was.
Yeah. Well, a gig's a gig, right? You got to take them when you get them, and it's all about practice and getting out there and doing it, man. If that means you got to do a fucking wrestling gig where people wrestle around and shit, dude, you got to do it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Anytime. My DMs are always open for that. fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
want to
right.
play
So
more
it-
like stuff like that, like more
Well, if-
DIY, like I don't know, more wrestling matches. But
well, if you're out there and you're watching this, the boys are ready, so put them in. So I'll put the links down to get you in contact. But all right, so you guys said you started it during the pandemic. You, Nick, and David. So how did Matt and Chris and the rest of the guys join the band, and how did everything start and all that good stuff? And you guys decided to take it seriously and get everything together.
Matt, do you want to tell how you got into the fold, or would you like me to tell it?
Yeah, so I was the last one to join, and
I never
because-
heard it from your perception before, so
Yeah. So Nick and David had been writing for a while, long before that, and then I guess Chris eventually joined. I jumped in there last, and they had a bunch of songs written and ready to go. So my first thought, because I had never played with, I think Chris and maybe David. I guess we played one gig before that.
I was gonna say we like we jammed with Dawning.
Yeah,
Sure.
which is how I met these guys.
Yeah.
because Matt and I was in a band called Dawning, very
okay.
alternative rock music, and that's how I know Matt, just from playing that
Sure.
band.
Yeah, so
Okay.
years later, got hit up, joined. These guys were super talented. I was like, oh shit, here we go. So first practice was just like making stuff up on the fly over all these songs they already had written visions for. So it was just gunning for it. And
Was that
Yeah.
easy for you to do? Is it like walk in because everything's already written and you're like, all right, well, now I got to come up with my A game because everything's already written. It's not like you're like starting off and, David's like, playing a drum beat, and Nick comes around with a little lick and then you just start, it progresses from there, but everything's already written and recorded and you come in there and it's like, all right, that's an easy job. I just come in here and write lyrics. Or is it more pressure to come in and walk into that?
no, there was no pressure. I mean, worst thing that happened, if it didn't work, I probably wouldn't have seen these guys again. It was the
Damn.
pandemic. I hadn't seen it like 2 years before that.
Yeah,
and all of a
that's true.
sudden, it was just like built
Yeah.
up. So no, it was cool. I was like reading like tour flyers on the walls, just making words up on the fly, just getting a sense of the feel of the songs, and I had a lot of fun. That's
Not
all
for
I wanted to
nothing,
do.
you are not a singer in a band. Like this is your first singing band, right?
Yeah, I played bass in the other band. Just a little backup.
Really?
There. Yeah, so
What made you to decide to take the leap to vocals? Didn't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'll just
I
ready
knew
to
he
go.
had it. I
I'm
knew
up
he
for
had
it.
it.
Yeah.
I'm up for it. So yeah,
Like, I'm tired of playing bass. I need to do something else. I'm tired of hitting that 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah.
I do feel naked now though, like without having an instrument though, at least because like
keep
they'll
bugging
get
him
the
to play
tune
third
and kind of
guitar.
like, yeah. Now
Just
I just
plug
gotta
into
like
nothing.
stand there. And,
Yeah, just pretend like you're doing stuff. I mean, the only people that are going to be like really paying attention are other band members. Are like, he's not playing that. He's
that's
not
fair. Yeah, just throw a guitar on and just like tune it up. It's not plugged in or anything, but
right. Just get some weird random instrument and pretend like you're playing it that nobody knows what instrument it is, and then you're like, I can't even hear what the hell is he playing? Just like as like a joke though.
a little tuning fork or something.
Little triangle, yeah, little tuning fork,
Yeah,
little cowbell.
yeah.
Dude, David always forgets his cowbell. We have a cowbell in the rig, and he's like, I don't got it.
Oh, really?
No, most of the time
he just doesn't want to play it, does he?
It's trying to set it up in the correct spot, and especially if I'm playing other people's drum kits, I can't I feel bad latching it onto the like bass drum or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just usually don't
Give it to Matt, bro.
I should, yeah, honestly. I should.
Well, so you guys have released like singles and all that kind of stuff, and I know you guys are working on a new single, correct? And is it too early to tell when we can expect it and when it's going to drop, or do you want to hold off on that? But I knew you guys
don't really know. We left it kind of like, hey man, like do your thing, because take your time working with our buddy Justin Barlett. We approached him like, how long you thinking? He's like, oh, we'll work it in there. So we don't really have a date, but
yeah,
I'm excited for that to like keep writing more songs, like that as motivation. Like, we got this, so let's do more so we can hear more of stuff like that. So
yeah,
new stuff coming, obviously. Making albums are so expensive, but like everyone's playing the single game now. But I just like putting out music. EPs are awesome and full albums are incredible, but I don't think anyone has the attention span of like, I'm gonna listen to a Studweiser full 9-song fucking album right now. So
no, you'd be surprised. Like old school cats like me still love that shit.
I think is what I'm trying to say. I just dropping random music is fun.
I think it's also just more affordable at this point to do singles and EPs and little 2-song Johns and stuff like that. It's more affordable to do that, and also you can spread them out over time, so it keeps people's attention rather than releasing 9 songs at one time and then people forget about you for the next year and a half, essentially. Well, hopefully, not, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and I understand why bands do it both ways, right? Yeah, I mean you're right. You're gonna release a record, and then it's like either what are we gonna do now? We're gonna go on tour and support it, or can we even support it? Can we even be out on the road or any of that kind of stuff? But then there's no timeline, at least for you guys to put out stuff. You guys are on your own time. You put out songs, and you have the time to make the songs as best as they want to. You're not under the pressure right now, and you do it the best way possible. And if people want to listen to a full length, Studweiser, they could just take all your singles and just put them on a playlist nowadays. You know what I mean? So
I love that you said that. That's
What's that?
I agree with you. That's actually a valid point. Putting the time into it away. That's what we do.
No, but it is one thing to say, albums are great too as well for being on a label or putting out a physical release of some kind. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where you definitely want to have something that, like, it's almost a trophy to yourself, like, validation. Hey, we made a record. I think that's where the streaming kind of like is kind of a little bit of a negative, to where it's like, okay, these are great and these are great songs, but there's still that, I would assume as a musician, you want to have some kind of physical media saying, hey, this is what we accomplished. You know what I mean? And is that something that you guys think about?
I would love to do that. I'm sure everyone would love to do that. I think we just need a little bit more ground to stand on before we accomplish something like that. Obviously that's the goal, is to go into a studio and spend a few weeks there and write an album or record a whole album. But and all in due time. I feel like it's it'll happen eventually, just not right now type of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's a smart way to go through it too, and especially when you're just trying, you're trying to pay your bills, and you probably all have regular day jobs and try to pay bills and all that kind of stuff. And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's more cost effective to do it the way that you're doing. And if things happen, it's all about consistency from what I've been told. Just consistent,
sure.
Put music out, keep it fresh, keep it doing it and everything, and everybody finds their way no matter what. That's what I always believe in.
Yeah, and if they want you there,
what's
we'll
that?
get there. And if the people want us somewhere,
right,
obviously you try to go there. You try to be accommodating for it. Like, we'll come to Duluth for a straw wrapper and $50, but maybe,
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's talk about Meant for Me. It's another one of the singles. The chorus is catchy as hell. I love the rhythm of the song. It's just awesome. I love I want to call it a breakdown, but it's not a breakdown. You just slow it down for a little bit towards the end.
You can call it a breakdown. You can call it a breakdown.
Can I call it a break? I mean, when I think of breakdown, I'm like, like the tempo changes and it's just like some sludge, crab walk fucking kind of breakdown. That's what I always think breakdowns are. So I'm always hesitant in saying what a breakdown is, but you slow the pace down for a little bit, then you ramp it back up with some screaming at the end, which is really perfect. I love how you end that song. So if you could walk me through this song, and Matt, I want to hear lyrically what you were going through in making this song.
Yeah, for sure. So that song was interesting because we did play that out before we'd ever recorded it, and it was a completely different song, and it wasn't very good, at least from my opinion. So
he didn't like it.
Why wasn't it good for you?
I was trying to do too much of I think the earlier stuff it had a lot of drawl and swing to it. And so it was still trying to this period of, rock and roll over these more modern riffs and shit like that. Yeah. So I eventually changed everything in the 11th hour when we were in the studio. And honestly, that hook that it worked out where it's got this little stop beat right at the end of the song before the last chorus, that was a happy little accident there that just worked out really well. And so I would say lyrically, it wasn't anything specifically, but it was just kind of this feeling of last regret, or, trying to capture a general emotion of desperation and paint some imagery of falling and stuff like that. So that's what we ended up using for, I think, the EP art as well, was something inspired by that. So it all just really came together at the end so well, and I think we couldn't have asked for a better result.
One more step to the end, get closer to the edge, 'cause it's a free fall from here. Will the concrete hold its shape, or give way to an escape on your way to disappear? Then the mortar gets beneath your fingertips, with an outstretched arm, reaching for a hold that was never there. A desperate moment, our legs kicking in the air. Now who's saving who? We both seem worse for wear. One more step to the end, get up closer to the edge, 'cause it's all free fall from here. We forgot about the lines we crossed, the shadows in our house. It's overstated the ways that we were changing. Then you went too far, diving deeper, counting one by one. I closed my eyes.
Yeah, and I think the lyrics are very ambiguous. It could be to where it's it's not, it's about something, but you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? It's not directly towards it, and that's what I kind of love about the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. It's emotional, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's you can tell the lyrics are very emotional, in the way that they're put out. It's really cool how you marry what Nick and David and Chris are doing and all that kind of stuff, and you use your voice as more of an instrument, within these songs and in the pocket. That's what I love about Studweiser. I love the song.
Delivery.
What's that?
It's all about the delivery.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Nick, let's talk about the guitars on this song and what you were thinking about and how you approached this song.
So before we do that, by chance, do you hear like the mouth trumpet? Do you hear like the trumpets in the song by chance? In the chorus?
Oh, I have to go back to it. I
If
didn't
you
notice it at
literally listen
first.
to it, there's like some kind
Okay.
of trumpets in the chorus, but it's actually Matt's like actually doing that with his mouth.
We like
So I thought-
harmonize like 3 different layers of mouth.
Really?
To really amp that chorus up. Yeah.
We played one ska gig and we were like, dude, we need some horns in here.
But we can't play trumpet, so
No.
So you just use your mouth and just
made it work.
dude, I'm checking it out as soon as we get done. As soon as we get done tonight, I'm gonna check it out.
They're in
But
there.
guitar wise, I think I was listening to a lot of Foo Fighters by accident. So that's why like the flanger in the beginning. I don't know. I just wanted to write like a really like punk rock, but still like rock song, but like still.
Yeah.
David and I always joke like a radio song, ironically, but
yeah,
you know, just 4 chords, but still having fun with like putting little whittlies in there that me and Chris can have fun. That's really like my main goal in WISER guitar writing wise, like doing the 4 chords, whatever you got to do, but still getting your shit in.
Yeah.
Not at a like disrespectful level to like what is this man doing? Because that's where Chris and I mess well. This song especially, he's doing like the cool leads in the chorus, and I'm just the rhythm in the background. Yeah, it's just punk rock music at the end of the day.
Hell yeah. And David, when they bring these songs to you, is it kind of a challenge, or is it just something that falls into place? You're like, is it easy for you to kind of figure out how rhythmically the songs get together?
No, I write pretty well with Mouthy. I don't know if you know him by Mouthy. That's Nick.
Okay. Mouthy. Okay.
Mouthy is his nickname. I've always known him as Mouthy.
You can call me Mouthy, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, Nick, you've got to put Mouthy in your little box.
I thought about it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So if you keep on hearing me say that, it's because I just never call him Nick.
Okay.
So, it's one of those things where, there's certain people that you mesh with when you write and stuff like that, and there's certain people that you don't. Mouthy is one of those people that I mesh with very well. It seems to come pretty naturally for the most part.
Dave is literally like and he's just like, I got it. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like, I nope, the song's done.
Yeah. For the most part, it's pretty easy. There's certain times where we get stumped, but it's nothing that lasts forever.
Sure.
But I believe that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mouthy, that the verse in this song was the original verse to the hair metal song that we wrote.
Yeah, which was
hair metal.
So
really,
like when we first started jamming stuff, we would just jam random shit. You know what I mean? So like we just made a hair metal song one day because it's pretty easy to.
Chorus pedal was on the whole song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that
Nice.
verse, maybe not exactly how you hear it now, but was originally a hair metal song. But obviously, and if you listen to if you go back and listen to it, there's a lot of chugging. My drum beat kind of mimics that a little bit, but it's definitely a lot more up tempo now than it was. Yeah, and then that's another song that August really helped out with in the studio. I think with all of us. A lot of even the full ending part and the build up and it, he helped a lot with all of it. So again, kudos to him. I can't talk enough about him. But
He wrote the whole song.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that Matt shines the most in that song. I love Matt's vocals in that song. And I after I heard the first version of it, I remember saying that to him, like, oh my God, dude, like you're great. So
it's gotta sound really good, and the other thing that I thought about when listening, just it was with your drums, David, and I was like, man, this would tracking this and listening to the different pieces in the studio would sound like amazing. You just solo out the guitars, or you just solo out the drums, or Matt's voice, or any of that kind of stuff, and hearing those on very expensive speakers in the studio, You know, like to me, I thought, you know, I was like, oh man, that would be so cool. Cause I went to recording engineering school. I don't remember anything about it other than reverb, but I do love the sound, and I miss the sound from those studio speakers, and these 3 songs right here would sound amazing in the studio, and hearing it back and being able to pick apart. And the other thing that I thought about is I thought about how everything is well meshed together, like every single instrument, how well it's recorded, how your guitars sound, how David's drums, like I've already said, Matt's vocals were like placed on top of everything. I think everything sounds great. So whatever, you know, you're doing in the studio is amazing. And like you said, I forget what's his name again, the guy who helps you out record. Yeah, so he's learning. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's doing a great hell of a good job, and kudos to you. So I'll give you kudos as well, because as a fan, as somebody who listens, you know, I know he's a little bit biased, or you guys are a little bit biased because, you know, you record with him, but amazing job. Amazing job.
Thank you. I just think it's nice that it shows that we're all comfortable with each other, like
sure,
to maybe push each other to do something, or like, hey, maybe you should try pulling back here and just do this instead, or like really trusting each other's judgment here, like all 4 to 5 of us at times, because it's really hard to do.
Yeah,
in most cases, I would say, like most bands break up in the studio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like how many LA or Hollywood bands just broke up in the studio? But I think we're just all comfortable with each other. We're, you know, and it shows throughout like what you're trying to say. Like we want to push the sonic boundary per se, and not just throw freaking MIDI drums on there, or like, we want to get
just
the whole
things you can't
experience.
pull off live. Like you don't want to get so like out of whack in the studio and then like go out and perform it live and it sounds like crap, and you can't really, recreate the magic that you made in the studio, right? What you want to record is what you want to perform, right?
Damn right.
For sure.
Plus it costs you a lot less money, not having as many little doohickeys to press or any of that kind of stuff. Just spend, studio time in, so that works out, right?
It works out. Sure. We do get bought by the doohickeys though. Like we got some doohickeys going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I want to hear that hair.
Some songs more than other.
Yeah, well, I want to hear that hair metal song. So you guys got to release it or send it to me. I want to hear it. Do I want to hear it?
We have a recording of it.
There's
somewhere.
Some recording. If you listen to the verse, it's very like 80s Motley. You gotta be.
Like it's very
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, so you were talking about radio songs earlier, and I did notice that you guys have been performing on 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia. Tell me what that's all about and how you guys got chosen to do that. That's really cool.
So it started with an Instagram DM from our pal Brent. I've only known him through listening to 93.3 my entire life. David, Matt, did you listen to all that stuff growing up on the radio?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. The radio was always a big deal to me because I didn't have like a CD player in my parents' car driving around. So it was always that radio station. And they have like Preston and Steve in the morning, which is like legendary, and like a cool night DJ. So there's a vibe about that around
Jackie
the town.
Bam.
So he hit us up and he was like, yo, hit me with an email. And I was like, all right, that sounds good to me. What's up, man?
Yeah.
And he was just like, hey, I want you to, how would you feel about being the local shout of the month? Like, we play you for five weeks in a month this month. That's really cool. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Why?
Yeah.
Here's our, and we like made a new website for it and like kind of buckled down and gave him all of our stuff. And the next day he was like, all right, it's up. We're good. So it kind of happened kind of fast. Yeah. And he was like, not an April Fool, or not, maybe not the next day.
No, it was like a week that we didn't really hear anything. And then it was April 1st. And he was just like, yeah, by the way, you guys are the local child of the month. And we're like, what? And he was like, I swear this isn't an April Fool's joke. Like,
yeah, I would have been like fucking bullshit.
Dude. So it's been pretty cool. We sent him, obviously the whole new EP was played on the radio. And it's pretty sick. Like, it's a cool opportunity. Like, we didn't have to, like, all these band guys are like, brother, what's up, man? Like, giving you the fake brother dap up. Like, there's no time for that. And there was such, like, a nice general connection that we made work. Like, cool opportunity is what I'm trying to say. So, they played the new EP, and then we got something this week, and that's it for the rest of the month.
Yes.
It's crazy, man, because they're like running ads with our name on it on the radio all
That's
day.
awesome.
So like we have like friends hitting us up like, "Yo, heard you on the radio." Like that's cool.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. Yeah. And do you
it's
guys
a cool,
perform
it's a
live in
cool
the
little
studio?
town. No, they're just playing the actual recorded songs.
Nice. Have they had
Which is
you in
pretty
the
cool.
studio to talk about the songs or anything?
That's going to be in the works. They're working on.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Maybe that's the.
They're
Is
doing
that
like
what's coming on this week?
No, I don't know. They're making like a whole new website for this new launch thing they're doing. So they're probably going to
sweet.
collect certain interviews and put them out. So we're going to be doing that whenever they want us to. But yeah, they have something with Alice in Chains coming through next weekend. We're all going to try to crash it and play it. Because they have like a karaoke band playing. So I'm just going to try to fight them for their instruments and be like, get beat. Just tune their shit down to drop C and just play a song real quick.
Yeah, or just get a U-Haul and drive right by and just play and just set up right there.
You know, we probably literally could.
Yeah, probably.
Matt, do you want to do that?
It's not a bad idea. I'm around.
Would you want to? It's May 10th. Would you want to do that?
Yeah, I think we could swing it.
I'll go in. Shit, dude. David's dad does it for M3.
For M3, yeah.
You know what M3, Brad?
Damn. What's that?
Do you know what M3 Fest?
No. What is that?
Is it in Maryland, David?
Yeah, it's in Maryland. It's basically like a big hair metal festival. Think of like Warped Tour, but for hair metal bands.
Oh, nice.
And my dad is in a 80s cover band. He's been playing for a long time, and he has his own hair band and everything like that. But regardless, his band goes down every year and plays in the parking lot. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's this weekend. I think he's playing Friday. So yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. But they set up like a whole tent and everything like that. It's not just a U-Haul.
Yeah.
But
we got a pink van, Brad. We just put the shit to the
Really?
Yeah, I have
David
a pink van.
It's David's van.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to roll up in that, dude. Screw the U-Haul.
It has underglow on it.
Dude. It writes itself. We can literally try to do it.
Hell yes. No, you show up at night, dude, that you got to make an entrance, man, with the underlights and everything. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
People are playing Denny's, you can play there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Factual.
Oh shit. You know, it's so funny because we do have a local show here. I worked for the rock station here in Orlando on iHeart. And we did have a local show. I think it's still going, but the guy who ran it's no longer there, but it's called Native Noise, and it's basically all local bands, and it's like 2 or 3 hours that they would do it. And then, I had a show with a few of my friends. It was called Against the Grain. It was punk metal and hardcore on Saturday nights and all that kind of stuff. We got to play whatever the hell we wanted to for like 3 hours, in Safe Harbor, all that kind of stuff. And it started at midnight and it would go till 3 o'clock in the morning. So the only people listening to us were like pizza delivery guys and,
the people that listen to the music.
Punk rockers.
Yeah. Basically people that are up all night. Yeah. So it was great. And we had like jail mail. We had like prisoners like emailing us, stuff. And they were listening to us in prison. We're like, we're number one in the pen, like we'd always say that and all that kind of stuff. But there is still a market, like radio has always been my love of my life, but it didn't pay worth a shit. So I had to get out. But it's one of those things. It's still super cool to see bands and break and get on the radio, and I love seeing that, and I love seeing what you guys are doing with 93.3, and that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Really cool. All right, so let's talk about Who Do You Love? I really love the intro. If you're asking me who do I love or what do I love the intro. I love how it's fast driven. Yes. Very Steadweiser. The vocals coincide very well. Like I said, you're in the pocket, Matt. The guitar work on this one especially, I love. You and Chris, Nick, what you guys are doing. Let's talk about this song and walk me through it.
Thank you. That's a guitar marathon. I originally kind of wrote it slower. It sounded like Angels and Airwaves, like Tom DeLonge was like a flanger John on it, but. Obviously, I wanted to hike it up a bit, and then it kind of sounded like a slot machine. I wanted to write a riff that sounded like a little slot machine. Yeah. So it was deemed the slot machine riff song for like a couple months. So with putting the slot machine riffs together and like the fun chords within it, I don't know. Right. It's a marathon of a song. It's just it kind of wrote itself to me. I don't know. Everything just felt right.
Yeah.
Had like the right
You have,
guitar on at the time, and like really, I wrote it in like one, like the ideas in like one day.
Do you guys ever get, stuck on a song and just like you're not getting anywhere, and you're battling whether or not like you have guitar block or drum block or vocal block,
Every
and
song.
how do you deal with it when those times come?
I don't
Sounds
know,
like
man.
Matt has an issue for every song.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, Matt has an issue for every song.
you just try it a bunch of different ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe guitar, you can run into some analysis paralysis with different parts, and I think in this song it went pretty smoothly, but yeah, I don't know. You always get stuck or hung up on having options.
I think it's always good to take a break for a moment and just
I was
like
gonna say
always
sleep on it.
sleep on it, come
Yeah.
back to it.
Yeah.
Maybe, listen to something else or listen to nothing at all, and then really put your instrument on and be like, that's it. Sometimes you just need a moment away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or
it's like when I get a really shitty email at work, I have to get up from my desk and I go down and smoke for like 30, 45 minutes. Then I like, instead of firing off, I'm like, no, fuck you, you're the asshole, kind of a deal. Like I'll go down, I'll smoke, and I'll go back. Oh, okay, everything's great, man. Yeah, we'll take care of that. It's just all a matter of how you look at things. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And this song came pretty quick. Like we wrote it in February of last year and recorded it in June of last year.
Yeah, we wrote it pretty fast and got it done pretty fast, and it was definitely like our I always like to say our weirdest song, but it, like in a good way. Like it wasn't as straightforward as a lot of the songs that we have. Like there's some, kind of like there's some parts that come up in it that you're like, where did that come from? But it fits. I feel like, I don't know if that's my way of putting it, I guess. And I think that the guitar riffs are one of the main factors in that, but they all mesh together like really well at the same time, I guess. I don't know. It's strange.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I remember just stumbling upon the bridge one day and we were like, well, that has to be in the song. Like the little funk riff. It started slower. Bow out. Bow out, bow, bow, bow out. And I really wanted to like push all these like hip hop subs during that part too. But that got vetoed somehow by everyone.
I wonder why.
Think of it on a huge sound system with that stuff going on in the background, but I digress. But I think that was one of the most fun I have the most fun playing that live now. We played it live like 3 or 4 times, I think, but I always like come out of body playing that intro because I'm like, if you fuck up, everyone and their mom is gonna know because there's a delay pedal on. It's like,
and it's also the only song at this point. It's not for long, but it's the only song at this point that we do have backing tracks live. It's not anything crazy.
Brad, we sold out.
Do you guys like have all the cabinets that don't even have any sound? Like you're just like, a whole bunch of cabinets and shit.
We need to go DI.
I'm like Kiss, the drum riser starts rising up and everything, Yeah.
Right.
But no, it's nothing crazy. It's just like some like tambourines in the background and just to spruce it up. And the ending part has all like these little like weird type of like noises in it. And like you have to have them now when we play live because it sounds almost weird without them. But so
People do
yeah,
go like, ooh, live.
yeah, true.
when they hear it.
But
So
yeah, but if we don't start it, obviously perfectly on time, the whole thing gets screwed up. Luckily, we haven't done that, so knock on wood.
I'm just gonna knock on.
Yeah,
it's a hard song to play live in tune. Like
Yeah.
the G string, if the G string's out of tune, Brad, just
just done.
boom. Yeah.
No, I have a buddy. He's in a band. Well, they're no longer together, but he's in another band. But the band he was in at the time, they were called Moon Men from Mars, and they dressed up in these silver suits and look like almost alien, almost moon men kind of a deal. And it was like really like skin tight, and they were just like with dad bods and stuff. And it was like the most hysterical like show. And it was a punk rock band. It was awesome. And he was the drummer and singer, and he had like the Night of the Living Things playing in the background, and he had it timed out. He would play the drums, and like this one of the scene, I don't even know what scene it is. I never even saw the movie. It's the one with Rowdy Piper. He was in that horror film or whatever. I forget what the name of this movie was. But anyways, it was like a horror movie with Rowdy Piper and back in the day, and he had it all synced up. And I was like, man, what if like you're like I always tease him about his VCR. I was like, what if your VCR freezes or like skips or whatever? He goes, I'll be fucked, man, because he has everything timed, and he had like the lights trigger, like some things they would do with his feet that would trigger different like lights and stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know how the hell you do it, dude, but it must be nerve-wracking to think about that. Maybe I gotta get this shit together and get the song perfect, right? I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit of practice goes a long way.
We're sailing.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
You guys just open up with that one and then just get just have fun for the rest of the time, so you don't have to worry
we're good
about
for the rest of it. The funny thing is we usually close with that song. So it's like building up.
So the whole show, you're like, oh shit, it's coming. The next song.
The whole show's actually a warm up to play the song.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's really.
You got to get all your chops up, right?
You got to get there.
Yeah, but if you're drinking beer or whatever, I don't know if you guys drink beer before the show or whatever, or during the show, or shots or whatever it is. Towards the end, you're like, like I can't fuck it up or whatever. I don't know, but
they do sometimes. I don't usually, but
yeah,
I just drink all the rest of the time. But yeah.
You make up for it. I get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I will have maybe a beer, maybe two before a show. That's it. Like I don't my limbs are going too fast. I can't slow down. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how else to explain it. And alcohol definitely makes you slow down a lot. So
yeah,
I don't want to put up a chance.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you for your sacrifice for the rest of us.
Meanwhile, Nick and Matt are having the time of their lives, and you're super hyper focused. Yeah,
Malfy's falling into my drum kit every other show.
Yeah, I actually have a screen protector over like one of my whole board now, so I don't spill beer on it too.
Really?
Yeah, you never know. That's a whole.
There's a lot of bodies to pack up there on that stage.
Yeah,
something's getting spilled.
Oh, I am the clumsiest person ever. I was editing a podcast and I had my little glass of wine or Lambrusco I drink every night. It's kind of my little nightcap. And I have like no depth perception, which reason why I got glasses, and it's still not really helping. And I'm like, I do something to go like this, and I went boom, and it's like it's red wine. It goes all over my brand new shorts, all over my carpet, and now it's like midnight, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, and I'm like screaming at my wife's kids. So I'm useless, man.
I understand you on a spiritual level there. Yeah. That is me and Matt 5 Miller Lights deep during a set, like just and while David's just like stone set in the back, like
just looking like, get your shit together, guys.
The last
you guys
show,
have like certain
forgot the laptop password though.
I did. Yeah, I forgot the laptop.
What's the laptop password?
Jesus, come on, David.
Yeah, I know.
It's a new gadget for us.
Everyone was calling out to my wife, like, "What's the password to laptop?" Because it's her laptop. So, it was funny.
Shit. All right. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. We've talked a lot about guitars. We've talked a lot about bass. We talked a lot about vocals. Let's talk about bass. So I know you guys. I asked you some pre-show questions. I know you guys have had a couple bass players, but where are you guys kind of at right now with a bass player?
So right now we have our friend Jari playing bass for us. He's also another body on stage that just flares his hair around and assaults everyone. Other than me, I'm on the complete other side of the stage. But I've heard Matt caught an eye of dreadlock before. But he's awesome. We've had a lot of friends who play bass for us at this point. We thank you for your service. Things don't always work out, Brad, when it's time to rock at the end of the day. And Jari's answering the call lately. We love him. And he told me he's going to keep showing up till we stop calling. So it's,
That's
he's
awesome.
a homie. Yeah. And he has we all run these quad cortexes. So he ironically has one too. So we're all in sync with our levels and patch changes. And we can stay in tune as a band with gear and sound good. Because you ever see bands that are good and they don't sound good live and you're like, what happened? And
I've seen a few over my years.
Respectfully. So we try to lock in there too. We'll make sure everyone's all dimed in so we can be on each other's business. So he allows us to be in his pedal board business is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. No, it's nice that it works out and nice that he's filling in and doing that kind of stuff. And if he keeps on showing up, it's all good, right?
It's chill vibes. He brings a really nice chill, also energetic vibe to the band. I don't know. He's a new friend to the stud friend. So he filled in on guitar for us before.
Okay.
For a show in Philly. It was guitar or bass, Matt?
It's guitar.
It was guitar. Yeah. And then I was like, you know the songs. I only have to teach you who do you love, really. And he was like, all right, shit. And he kept coming around.
Well, hey, that's all it takes, right? You just got to be present in
He's in multiple other
right?
bands, En Moss, great band from Connecticut, Brooklyn area. He was in a band called John Mayer, but spelled like John, like Jawn, like Nightmare, MAR.
Yeah.
Cool math course stuff.
Nice.
Shout out Sweet Samples on Instagram. We'll give him a shout out.
All right, Sweet Samples. That's his handle.
That's his handle. I think there's an underscore in there, but you'll see it.
We'll have to take a look at it and give him a follow. But that's that's awesome, man. And as far as shows and stuff, I know you guys are playing a lot. What do you guys have coming up here in the near future?
A whole lot of nothing right now. We're kind of all getting married, so it's
what? All right, that might be a little bit more of a interesting question, other than whether or not you guys are playing live. What's going on? Who's getting married?
Matt and I. David's married.
Wow! Congratulations, gentlemen. Are you together? You guys are getting married to each other?
We should not.
Yeah, we're kicking around the idea, but
yeah.
But
when you guys get married?
I'm November of this year. Matt, do you have a date? Yeah, you're newly engaged.
No, still planning, enjoying that phase, but
enjoy it, buddy. Enjoy it. I've been married 15 years, so if you need any advice, don't ask me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, don't ask me for any advice, but I don't know how to make it work. A lot of alcohol.
Show wise, nothing much going on in the summer right now is what I was trying to get at. Everyone's kind of just doing their thing on the summers for the most hand. Maybe we'll play a wrestling death match.
Writing.
I want to play a rooftop. There's this cool rooftop place in Philly that I think would be cool to do a live video session there, but have a show, record the soundboard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And have it overhangs Philly, everything's in the background, so that could be a cool thing we can do. But other than that, we're just enjoying the time writing together.
Yeah, and we're mainly focusing, at this point on, getting the song back and then starting to write more so we can, get more out there. And we're always open for gigs, obviously. We usually put on a lot of our own shows. So we'll kind of go around and, mainly Mouthy will book all the bands and stuff like that. And that's always fun and everything like that. But, it's nice.
The Philly scene is so diverse. So there's every day of the week, there's always something going on.
Yeah.
A lot of the venues have shut down. So it's a lot of DIY spots. A lot of grab shacks.
They still not, are they still not recovered from COVID or is it
not
how
really.
Philly's been?
I think the killer was COVID, but and it really just hasn't it got a little better, not anything crazy though. you know, a lot of venues turned into restaurants and whatnot. You know, look at Voltage Lounge and stuff like that. So, which it's a really cool new bar called Doom, but still,
Doom Bar's dope.
Yeah, one less
Owned
venue.
by Will Yip.
Yeah. It's owned by Will Yip. He's mastering our new song soon. So
it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, you know, I figured you guys would be out doing a little bit more during the summer, but if you guys got to take time, and you know, you guys are getting married in November, there's a lot of planning. I know that. I know what that entails and all that kind of stuff. But I wish you guys all the best of luck in your engagements and all that stuff. And looking forward to hearing the new music for sure.
Thank you. It's like everything we've done all in one, I would say, in this new song, if that makes any sense. Like there's like the Queens of the Stone Age vibe of it, but there's also like a Deftones vibe to it, but also like a Hum vibe to it, if that makes any sense. If you like Hum. But it's gonna be very cool. I'm very excited to hear. We got a little sax part in there now. We've upgraded from mouth trumpets to real saxophone.
Who's playing the mouth sax? Is that David on this one, or is that?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, no.
real sax. Justin Bartlett, our engineer.
Oh, nice.
Doing it. I knew he played sax. He did sax on a couple Turnover songs and a Turnstile song. So I was like, yo, bring your sax tomorrow. We left him alone for a minute, and he was like, I'm the sax man, like just in there. It was really cool to hear. It sounds really evil. This song is kind of evil and unsettling.
Okay, I love it.
In a good way. Like it's
yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear it. And well, thank you guys so much for joining the podcast. Really do appreciate you guys. Best of luck to all you guys, and wish nothing but the best for you. Looking forward to the new music, and keep me posted on everything. All right.
Awesome. We'll do, man.
Thank you so much for having us.
We'll do. Yes. Thanks, Brad.